They say love is blind, and for a long time, I believed it. I was Chris, and my world revolved around Megan. We had what I thought was a storybook romance. From our first date over cheap coffee to the day I watched her walk down the aisle, every memory was etched in my heart as a testament to our perfect love. I adored her. I genuinely believed I loved her more than I loved myself. Every decision I made, every goal I set, had her at the center. I worked extra hours to save for our dream house, learned to cook her favorite meals, even though I hated being in the kitchen. And I gave up my Friday night hangouts with friends because she preferred quiet evenings at home. My life was our life, and I was happy with that. Or so I thought. The first crack in my perfect world appeared subtly. It was a late-night text she tried to hide, a hushed phone call she took in the other room. When I asked, she'd just smile that radiant smile of hers and say it was work or a friend needing advice. I'm not a jealous person by nature, and I trusted her completely. Why wouldn't I? She was Megan, my Megan, but the small inconsistencies started to pile up. Work dinners on weekends, girls' nights out that her friends knew nothing about. My gut was screaming at me, but my heart refused to listen. I convinced myself I was being paranoid, that the stress from my job was making me imagine things. I didn't want to believe that the foundation of my life could be anything but solid rock. For me, it came in the form of a misplaced receipt. My hands trembled as I held that piece of paper. It felt like a death sentence. Suddenly, all the little red flags I'd ignored started waving frantically in my mind. It all clicked into place, forming a horrifying picture I couldn't unsee. The woman sleeping peacefully next to me was a stranger. Confrontation was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. At first, she denied it, gaslighting me, making me feel like I was crazy for even suggesting it. The truth was ugly and painful. It wasn't just a one-time mistake. It was a long-term affair with a coworker. She cried. She apologized. She said it meant nothing. She hadn't just been with someone else. She had actively lied to my face, day in and day out, while I was dedicating my life to her happiness. The days that followed the confession were a blur of pain. It felt like I was walking through a fog. The home we built together felt like a prison, every corner filled with ghosts of a love that was a lie. I packed a bag and went to stay with a friend. I needed space to breathe, to think. He said something that stuck with me. You didn't just lose a wife, Chris. Maybe it's time to find the real you. That hit me hard. For years, I had been Chris and Megan. Who was I? Just as Chris. The process of untangling my life from hers was excruciating. Lawyers, dividing assets, telling our families, it was all a nightmare. But through the pain, a strange sense of clarity began to emerge. I had put her on a pedestal and made her happiness my sole responsibility while completely neglecting my own. I had ignored my own needs, my own dreams, my own intuition. I had given away my power, my self-worth, and my identity. This wasn't her fault alone. It was a dynamic I had willingly participated in. It was a tough pill to swallow, but it was also incredibly liberating. As months turned into a year, the anger and hurt began to fade, replaced by a sense of peace. I moved into my own apartment, a place that was entirely mine. I decorated it with things that I liked, played music that I loved, and enjoyed the quiet solitude. I wasn't just surviving. I was thriving. I learned to cook for myself, and I actually started to enjoy it. I went on a solo trip, something I'd always wanted to do, but never thought possible. I was discovering a new kind of happiness, one that wasn't dependent on someone else's approval or presence. I saw Megan once, about a year after our divorce was finalized. We ran into each other at a coffee shop. It was awkward, but surprisingly, not painful. She looked different, and I suppose I did too. We exchanged a few polite words. She apologized again, more sincerely this time, it seemed. Holding on to that anger was like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. Forgiving her was the final step in letting go and freeing myself completely. I wished her well and walked away, not with a heavy heart, but with a light one. Today my life is fuller than I ever could have imagined. I'm still just Chris, but now that name feels whole. I learned that true love isn't about losing yourself in someone else. It's about two complete individuals choosing to share their lives without sacrificing their own identities. The pain of betrayal was immense, but it was also a catalyst for the most important journey of my life, the journey back to myself. I had to learn the hard way that you should never love someone else more than you love yourself. If you're going through something similar, know that the pain is temporary. You are stronger than you think, and there is a whole happy life waiting for you on the other side. Focus on yourself. Heal yourself, and rediscover who you are. Thank you for listening to my story. Please like and subscribe for more content.